Joining us now from Washington is Chicago Fraternal Order of Police President John Catanzara.
Thanks for joining us, John. We appreciate you being here. I believe you're still in Washington.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Of course, we're happy to have you. We would love for you to set the scene being inside the White House on the South Lawn last night for this big presidential moment, which was, of course, part of a campaign. How did it feel to you? I imagine you were out in the chair somewhere in that crowd.
Yeah, well, you know, walking in onto the grounds, you kind of walk through a gate and there's a lot of trees, so you don't really get to see the full scope of the property until you get past that entranceway. But once you do, it kind of just opened up into this big, grandiose location. And it was humbling, to say the least, that I was part of that moment with the president.
America has not seen an event of that size since the pandemic first began. What did you do differently as you entered? Were they taking temperatures? Did they ask you to wear a mask, not to wear a mask? What was it like as you entered during this time?
There was obviously warnings or information that if you did have obviously symptoms, to notify somebody. It was basically the honor system. There were free masks for anybody who didn't have them. There were obviously political ones, or you could obviously get a Trump mask. And again, people were kind of expected to do however they saw fit to handle it. Like, I was with a group of specific people that I had been traveling with anyway. We weren't necessarily worried about the masks, but when you obviously interact with other people, you'd put a mask on. It was kind of up to every individual person how they want to handle it.
John, let's talk about the substance of the speech, because one of the things the president addressed was safety and security on the streets, and that's something obviously top of mind for you and the men and women in your union. Let's talk about even upcoming this weekend and the fears here in Chicago and, of course, close to home in Kenosha.
Well, you know, I know there's a protest scheduled tomorrow on the Mag Mile. I don't know. I think a lot of the people actually that might have been here are now on their way over there. Because when we checked into the hotel yesterday, there was a pretty decent contingent in the hotel, which was away from pretty decent distance from the White House. We're checking in there, and they're checking out the same morning now onto the next protest. It seems to be a trend nationwide. Again, they tried to disrupt the show last night. You could hear some noise, but it didn't really have any effect whatsoever on the night for any of us.
John, bringing things closer to home, what are you advising your members to do, be it here in Chicago or up in Kenosha, if things start to percolate up there again?
Well, the same thing they've been doing, you know, some common sense, some restraint. Don't take the bait. Let them rant and rave, do whatever they're going to do. But we are not obligated as a condition of employment to subject ourselves to aggravated battery with no response whatsoever. I hope the city knows that this is not a sustainable way that they're going to conduct business. 12-hour days, cancel days off, and then think that the officers are going to just have to stand there and take that abuse from these protesters with no repercussions. It's just not reality, and it's illegal, period.
So getting back to the president's speech, him addressing that very point to you, how does that make you feel in terms of your comfort level? There was a lot of talk about Democratic-run cities versus the Republican feeling about violence on the streets.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of talk about it because it's a simple fact. If you look at where the majority of these violent protests / riots, anarchy, mob rule are happening, they are Democratic-run cities. I know the mayor doesn't like to have that pointed out, but it is just the reality of the situation. And kudos to the president for continuing to point it out. They just don't like the messenger, but they can't challenge the message.
John, I have one last question for you before we sign off here. This issue of vigilantes now in the streets, when we're seeing protests all over the country these days, what would you be advising your members to say or do in these situations when they encounter them?
Well, I don't know that necessarily vigilantism is such a big thing. I mean, was it stupid for that kid to be up in Kenosha? Absolutely. But also, he was defending his own life. I mean, yeah, he kind of put himself in that situation. But just because you put yourself in that situation doesn't mean that you have to give up your life and not defend yourself. Again, I don't think that's necessarily an issue in Chicago. I think there's plenty of law enforcement resources compared to Kenosha that it's not going to be an issue.
And of course, we don't have open carry either. John, thank you so much, and safe travels home.
Thank you. Have a good day.